All right, here's a little old farm pond on some land that's about to be developed for housing. I don't know if there are any fish in it, but I would imagine there are. I would imagine. And I don't think it's going to take very long to figure out whether or not this pond's a honey hole. If there's fish in it, it's a honey hole. Let me put it to you that way. If there are fish in this pond, it is a honey hole. There's a fish, guys. First freaking cast, that fish did not get hooked. We've got ourselves a honey hole, guys. He's on it. Good, we got a fish finally. Stay on. Look at him fight. All right, let's see if there's any good ones in here. Wow, first fish of the day, and I popped him right in the eye. See if we can save his eye. I think we did. Looks good. Cold fish, man. There he goes. Fish. There we go. Little bass, I think. No, that's a crappie, isn't it? Yeah, wow, guys. I just said that. I was thinking, man, I'm missing these fish. That's kind of strange. Maybe they're not bass. And then sure enough, look at that. That's a beautiful little black crappie. I don't catch a whole lot of black crappie in Texas. It's usually white crappie. Beautiful guy. Wow. So I'm thinking there's a school of these out there. It'd be fun to run into about 20 of them. My guess is for a pond this small, if it's got crappie in it, it doesn't have any big bass, because these crappie can really outcompete bass for those bait fish. There he goes. Got my answer. That explains it, why I was missing some of these fish. There's another one. That's a baby bass. Wow. I want to catch his great-great-great-grandmother. And guys, there are still cows out here on this field. So I got to be careful with that. Look at that little baby bass. Probably born this year. What is it? Yeah, it's a little bass. About like that first one. But compared to those small, oh my God, he was barely hooked. Compared to those small little baby bass we were getting, this might as well be a giant. A fish just blew up right there as I was setting my stuff down. The water does appear to be a little bit deeper here. It may not be the deepest part of the pond, but it may be deeper on average. There's a fish. Oh my goodness. Little baby guy. One might think that's a bad sign, but that's just a baby bass. I have never in my life seen a pond where the bass are so stunted they stay that small. So my guess would be there's a lot of better fish in here. When they have a good spawn like that and there's a lot of small bass, there's got to be some good ones to create those small bass. There's a fish, 2 casts in a row. That's a better one. 2 freaking casts in a row. 1 video clip. Normally I end the clip after each catch, but they're fired up here. Could probably go 3 in a row, but I'm not going to. There's a fish. Man, big old head on that guy. Little body, not tiny body, but little body. He's not the one I want to tripod. Fish. That's a better one if he's healthy. We'll tripod him if he's healthy. Oh, he's not better. Big old head on him, man. All I saw was that big old mouth, and I thought we might have had one about 1.5 pounds, but nope. Maybe not even a pound. He's skinny. Just hope that today if we get like a 13, 14 incher that he isn't skinny. He's on. Must be tiny. Some ponds you go to, you can see down 4 feet, and you can tell exactly what's down there. Like you can even see rocks and stuff off the bottom at 4 feet. And then like the golf course pond I went to on Christmas Day, I could see down about 8 feet, but it was cloudy. so it made it a little bit hard. There we go. Crappie are built to eat long, slender fish like shad, bass, minnows. There's a fish way out there in the middle. Little guy chilling out in the middle. Oh, that's a crappie. Cool. Another crappie. I love catching different stuff. This is a lure that is designed to just smoke crappie. I just think I don't fish a whole lot of ponds that have crappie. Otherwise, I'd catch a lot of crappie on this thing. I mean, there's not a day that goes by where I don't have that little swim bait tied on. Little yappy. Here we go. Come here, bud. I mean, some of these fish look extremely healthy. This is one of them. Doesn't look like a stunted fish. Believe me, I've fished ponds with stunted fish. A lot of times they have these giant bug eyes and little bodies and big heads. There's a crappie. I think. No? Bass. Look at him fight. Oh my God. So all I'm saying is a lot of times the big ones just aren't biting. I know for a fact that golf course had good ones. This guy's got rocks in his throat. He buried himself down there in the mud. I hope he doesn't eat those. Hope you spit him out, bud. See if I toss him in like that, maybe he'll spit him out. Yeah, he's a little bit better. I think we'll tripod that one. He's a giant among dinks. Let me loosen my drag too. No, he's not. Is he even any better? Oh my God, look at that. How cool is that though? Watching him fight like that in clear water. He's a little better, man. It's really gonna suck if I end up having a tripod one that small, but how about we just get it over with? And if we get a good one later, we'll tripod him too. But I at least want to have one for the tripod shot. A lot of times this brings me good luck too, tripoding one that I normally wouldn't, and then like a couple casts later I'll get a good one. Let's go for it. There's not much to say about this guy. I'm not even sure he's the biggest one we've caught yet, but he'll do for the tripod for now. All right, well, he'll do for now. Go, bud. There's a fish. Oh, he dropped it. Nope, he came back for it. Okay, stay on, please. Once again, another one with a good sized mouth compared to his body. Makes me think they're bigger than they really are. Stay on. Tripod's gonna blow over. Those gusts they are no joke. This guy here was never coming off. Just skin hooked in the roof of the mouth, but you'd be surprised sometimes how that's really one of the better ways you can hook them. They stay on pretty well when you do that. There's a fish. Would love to get more crappie actually, because it's not very often I find a pond that even has crappie. They're not in very many ponds. They're never stocked. I find that they're never stocked in ponds. Ponds that have them usually are very, very old ponds where they just sort of got in through birds' feet. Wow, this fish didn't fight at all. That's weird. This guy's also got rocks in his mouth. That fish did not fight at all. Got another crappie? Nope. Look at that, man. It's funny, with the exception of that one that didn't fight at all, they've all fought pretty hard today for their size. There we go. Fish. Oh shit. Good fish. Good fish. Please stay on. Oh, please stay on. What is this? What is this? Is it a catfish? Oh, guys, it's a big fish. Oh, I just hooked the biggest fish in the pond. Guys, I just hooked. Oh my God, there's swirls. Please stay on. This is exactly what I said I didn't want to have happen with low battery. Oh, please stay on. What is this? Oh, it's a bass. Guys, it's the biggest fish in the pond. Without a doubt, because you saw these dinks we caught. I finally caught their grandmother. And I don't think it's very healthy either. It's skinny like all the others. Come here, bud. And it's not even a giant, but that's the biggest fish in the pond, I believe. Yep, I just caught the biggest fish in the pond. And it's not healthy, unfortunately. That sucks. Man. It's not super skinny though. I can't really complain. I'm gonna complain a lot if I let my battery die though, but that would be on me. Did not expect this. Oh man. 2 pounds, 11 ounces. That's bigger than anything I caught at that golf course the other day, and that was a honey hole that I know had 10 pounders in it. And this pond here's a dinkathon. Let's see, is my camera still rolling? 9% battery, it's not too low. We lucked out. What a fight. Almost a 3-pounder. It's like 5 ounces away. So it's not almost a 3-pounder, but it is a good fish. For such a small pond, it is a really good fish. Just wish he had just eaten or something, you know? Because this fish could have easily gone 3 pounds if it was built like a truck. Unfortunately, it's built like an electric car, not a diesel, so... Yeah, I went there. That's right. What are you going to do about it? I went there. Alright, so I got to change my batteries after I let this big girl go. It's undoubtedly a female. Got to be the biggest fish in the pond. This bass right here is eating crappie. That would be my guess. There you go, big girl. Just caught the biggest freaking fish in the pond. Nope, not a good one. Just hit very, very hard. He's a lot fatter. You can tell he just ate something. Wish that other one had been built like this. Even that one's not like super fat or nothing. Wouldn't that suck if like the only forage in here for these bass to eat is other bass and or crappie? Okay, he was buried in the grass. That's why he felt bigger. I've learned over the last few days to not say anything because all the fish recently have been fighting really, really hard. This guy probably is a little bigger than average, but still a small fish. Look at this vegetation right here, how healthy it is. It was right down there on the bottom too. I almost don't really see a reason to go to the other side of the pond. If not for the fact the wind is blowing hard into that corner and I can't quite reach it, but I can cast 90%, there's a fish, 90% of the way across this pond. I just can't quite reach that corner. Oh man. He just took off with a lot of line right there. This is another better one. Guys, please stay on. This is another much better fish. Please, please, please stay on. Oh my God. Oh, wow. He's fighting at least as hard as the 2 pound 11 ounce one. You feel him bumping the line with this. Oh my God. Guys, it's bigger than the last one. Oh my God. Now I have legitimately caught the biggest fish in the pond. Guys, that's got to be a 4+ pounder. He's got to be hooked well if he's still on. You know it's a giant fish when you can feel their tail kicking the line. What does he snag me in? No, he snagged me in something, guys. Got to be that grass. Okay, he's off. He's off. I mean, he's still on, but he's off the whatever the hell that was. Guys, this is a giant fish. This might be my biggest of the year. It's that big. No way is there a fish that big in here. Oh man, no, it's not my biggest of the year. But it is bigger than that last one, and I do not like seeing that crankbait on his chin. Man, he just looks so big down there. Oh my God. Yes, he's built like a truck too. There's my diesel. There's my diesel. Wow. Yeah, definitely a 4 pounder. From in the water down there, he looked like he could have gone 7. Oh my goodness. Wow. Maybe a 5 pound bass, guys. My biggest of the year is like almost 7. Last year my biggest was 7. The year before that it was 9. Oh yeah, 4 pounds 10 ounces. Are you kidding me? What are they eating in here though? Oh, it didn't lock. Does this scale even lock? I can't even remember, honestly. 4 pounds 10 ounces. No, this scale doesn't lock. It doesn't matter. I'm short-circuiting out here. I can't even remember if the scale that I've used for the last 2 years locks. Wow. Oh my God, man. Okay. I have to take back what I said, because this is officially the biggest fish in the pond. I have to take back what I said earlier, because this is the biggest fish in the pond now, without a doubt. Almost 5 pounds. I've caught so many bass today that were this freaking big, and crappie that were this big. Stunted fish that didn't look healthy. And then all of a sudden, almost a 5 pounder. Oh man, and it was on the crankbait, not the little micro swim bait. This guy would have tore off that swim bait in a hurry, as hard as he was fighting. Biggest fish in the pond, I can say now without a doubt. And I know I said that earlier, but this fish is twice the size of that last one. And it's fat and healthy. I got nothing to complain about with this one. Look how thick it is across the shoulders. Right there. Got to be 4 inches wide there. All right. Let's get her back. You know, because it's so windy today. Oh, I just stepped in cow shit. Whatever, I can't even be mad about it. But, because it's so windy today, this fish is getting dry in a hurry, so let's get her back. This is the biggest fish in the pond. It has to be. Oh my God. Wow. There you go, big girl. Right on that cow pie. There you go. Wow, what a freaking fish, dude. Gotta be in my top 10 biggest of the year. Little guy. Tell you the truth, it's hard to go back to catching these little dinks after that. That was so much fun. Wow. Yeah, that bass could eat that guy without a doubt. Look at that. That never gets old though, watching the fish. Oh my God, where's that crankbait? Good God, I'm gonna need the pliers for this, just to save this fish. He's got this thing so far down there. This is potentially gonna take a while. All right. Thanks for playing, bud. He had one scraping his gills and one in the back of the throat, top of the roof of the mouth, back of the throat. I've been fishing since just about the time I could walk. This one's not going to behave. He's going to make it way tougher on me because he's just about got one in the gills. There we go. Best decision I ever made was putting these Gamakatsu EWG hooks on this crankbait. You should have seen the freaking hooks that came on this thing. They look like, so it was an $8 lure with about 10-cent hooks on it. Now it's an $8 lure with about $3 hooks on it. Oh, there's a fish. I think I barely hooked him. I'm sure if you ask 6 Cents and Guggen Squad, they'll say, oh yeah, we put the best hooks on ours. We don't use Gamakatsu, we use blah blah blah. It's all the same. Oh God. Oh God. Alright. It's the first bass today I hooked that I thought I might actually get a hook in the hand. Mainly because I'm starting to catch them now on the crankbait. The way I'm hooking them on the swim bait and crankbait is on the pause, sort of letting it float up. Exact same way that a jerkbait is fished. So thank you for behaving, bud. I like that. All right, gonna do like 5 more casts with the crankbait, and then we will throw the jerkbait, and then we'll move down, which is insane. I mean, we've caught like 20, 25 fish today, including 2 really good ones and 2 crappie, and we've only casted, we fished less than half the surface area of the pond. There we go. That's a little bit better one, I think. Look at those head shakes. Can you see that? Look at that. Wow. Fishing clear water does not get old. I used to think, and this isn't crystal clear, but I used to find it intimidating. Yeah, that is a better one. Before those 2 big ones, this would have been our biggest of the day. I used to be intimidated by clear water. I thought, man, if I can see the fish, they're not going to bite. But then I learned to just get better. Sometimes you just got to get better. I should weigh that one. He's close to 2 pounds. So I love to see bass at multiple different stages of life. I mean, we've caught ones that were born this year. We've caught ones that were born last year. This guy was probably born 2-3 years ago. That 5-pounder is probably like, you know, probably like an 8-year-old fish. 1 pound 14 ounce, 1 pound 15 ounces. So close, because 1 pound 16 ounces would be 2 pounds. I'd have been happy with that before we caught those 2 big ones. I'd have said, yeah, you know, now we finally got that one good one we were looking for. This guy gave up on life. He didn't even try. He didn't even try to fight. Kind of like Mike Tyson. That fight looked fake. There's a bite. Got him. Underspin's putting in some work, man. We've made 5 casts with it so far, and already, ooh, that feels like a better fish too, which was the whole point to begin with of why I even threw the underspin. It's just like the micro swim bait, except bigger. Yeah, this is a better fish. You can feel his tail kicking down there. Shit, don't jump. Thankfully, those bigger fish don't jump a whole lot in my experience. No! No, he jumped. Why? Guys, that fish didn't look healthy, but it was huge. Giant mouth on that guy. Why couldn't I hook that big one like I hooked you? No amount of head shaking was going to get this fish to come off. Oh, I should have torpedoed him. I totally forgot. He's tiny. Thank God he's tiny. A big fish hooked like that, I would have lost him too. I set the hook on slack line like a dumbass, and he came off. Wow. Just like a dumbass. Wow. God, what a pond. Man, I'm going to be furious if they drain this pond, but I have no reason to believe they won't. I've seen what they do when they buy land out here and they want to develop it for housing. They don't give a shit. There's one lot near me. There's a good gust of wind. Some land near my house sold, and it had like 7 ponds on it. One of them was like 4 acres, and they filled them all in. That's another good fish. I can feel his tail kicking. Oh man, come here. There's a swirl. That is always a good sign when they swirl like that. Wow, he just took off with 10 feet of line. He's not nearly as big as that one we just lost. In fact, he's not even that big at all. I wasn't wrong though. He's much bigger than the vast majority of fish in this pond. Look at that. Look at that. That's another like 2.5 pounder. Not sure if I should tripod him or not, to tell you the truth. This video is going to get kind of long on me. I horsed him. I didn't want to lose him at all. Or if you do lose him, you want to lose him on your terms. That looks exactly like the 2-pound 11-ouncer that we caught earlier. Hope it's not the same fish. Need to turn the brightness up on my phone. I can't barely see my screen. Just because it's bright out here. The brightness on my phone would be fine in the house or something. Alright, well, hate to say this, but I'm going to say he's 2 pounds 11 ounces. I think it's the same fish. I hope it's not. Oh, 2 pounds 12 ounces. Okay, it's not the same fish. I'm pretty confident. I know it's only off by an ounce, but generally speaking, when you catch a fish, they don't gain weight right after you let them go. They lose weight from stress of being caught. So I don't think it's the same fish. Here you go, bud. Oh, nice. There's clams and snails in this pond. You can see a snail shell right there. There's a, ooh, got crushed. Oh yeah, come here, bud. Oh yeah. Oh my God, he's dead. He's a dead guy. That might be one of the skinniest ones yet. There's a bite. Another little guy. Set the hook on him like there was no tomorrow. I must have yanked him up 4 feet. He was down near the bottom. It's approaching golden hour if it's not already there. It's very close. I'm just in the shade right now, so you couldn't tell. Yeah, I think it's golden hour. This has been the best 3 days of fishing I've ever had in my life. There's a fish. I've never averaged, I'm averaging probably 30 fish. Caught like 40 that one day, 20 the first day, probably like 35 today. Little baby guy. It's crazy, man. How is it even possible to have this many fish in such a small pond? Oh my God, he got caught on my thumb. When you catch this many fish, there's one. Everything has to go right for you to catch this many fish. There's no doubt about it. Pond has to be a honey hole. You have to do everything right. The weather has to be right. Still catching them. All right, I don't know how many fish we can hope to have up there. It's a relatively small section of the pond. There's one. He just came off. Wow, you really can't reel it too fast from a bass that really, really wants to eat your crankbait. I wasn't even trying to hook one there. That was wild. Oh my God, where's that bait? How'd you eat it that deep? He's got 99% of this bait down his freaking in his mouth. All right, let's give one a proper torpedo, shall we? We didn't really do that today. All right. There he goes. I threw him way out there in the deep water, so he's all right. He's got those red lips. Oof. Don't do that, bud. Get another one. My dad's about to call me back any second. I gotta get this guy back in the water. Red lips again. There he goes. Yeah, I've got to make the most of this. We're not gonna... There's a fish. That feels like a good one. Oh my God, it's a good one. Isn't it? No? No, it's not. Wow. He just freaking hit it so hard. Got a big old head. Why aren't you bigger? Big old head. There he goes.